Well, I've heard that you never work with children and a dog in a film. I'm Jerry Zeitman, and I was the exec producer with my partner Hal Landers on a project called Devil Dog, Hound of Hell.
Emanu ete one.
Emanu ete one.
Send him now, for whom we call. Send the beast. Send him now.
It's hard to say why a script is more right for theatrical or more right for television. I mean, when you take a look at a movie with Dustin Hoffman called Kramer versus Kramer, that actually could have been a television movie. And maybe the subject matter and all it could have been served better, although it was a terrific feature. What made it different was Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman himself made it a feature. So when I read this, I thought that this was kind of a genre film that would best be served in television rather than motion pictures. I was given it as a finished script, so it wasn't like someone pitched me an idea and then we sold it to a studio or a network. It was finished product. So what my role was then was to put together the right elements in terms of the right director, and I know we got a terrific job from Curtis Harrington, and then get two really good actors to play the role, because a movie like this can either work or you can almost laugh at it. So you have to be careful who your director is and who your lead actors are. So that was uppermost in my mind in developing the project.
Hey, he likes ice cream just like Skipper did.
Hey, what are you going to name him?
I'm going to name him Lucky.
Of course, our story involved the family and focused on two of the children, and they were great. There was no problem. They were very professional, always prepared, did their work, and they were a delight to have around. Of course, our story centers around a dog, but here again we had a great trainer, and that dog was terrific. And I personally have owned two German Shepherds, and I had a gorgeous pure white German Shepherd that I just loved to pieces. So working with a dog in a film, and particularly a German Shepherd, was just great and delightful, and the dog performed. And so both the children and the dog were great. I wouldn't hesitate to do that again in another movie.
Some evil power has moved into my house. My family's changed.
Well, Richard Crenna is one of the more delightful talents I ever met. He was a dear friend. He was kind of a good luck charm for me. He directed a couple of pilots for me, as well as acting in Devil Dog. If you're working with Dick Crenna, be prepared to laugh a lot. And here we were making Devil Dog, Hound of Hell, and it's supposed to be scary and all. But the minute the cameras would stop rolling, Dick Crenna would have everyone hysterical. He was just naturally a very, very funny man, and also a great actor. I mean, he brought a lot of credibility, I think, to the script. And of course, he's had a career of great roles and great parts, and one of my most favorite people as a person and also as a talent. Great. We just lost him a little while ago. Dick Crenna kept us entertained and laughing, and was just I just loved hanging out with him, you know. I used to go to his house and play bocce. We were friends, and a total delight. And when you look at his career, I remember him being a high school kid on our Miss Brooks with the high voice, and I think he was supposed to be someone like 18, and I think he was in his late 20s. And then he went on to do some really great movies, and he worked with Stallone in a couple of movies. No, he was terrific, big talent, and a terrific guy.
The circle is eternity. The point reached to the art. The eye is all-seeing, all-penetrating. It is protection from the great evil one.
Well, regarding the writers, I believe that the Carps, I'm almost sure of this, were involved during production. I think they were on the set, and I think they were available to make changes in the script if a line was difficult for an actor to say. I believe that they were totally available to us and made a major contribution to make sure that everything worked well. And I think that's the kind of writers that they were. They just didn't write something, get paid, and then move on. I believe they were there involved throughout, and terrific to work with.
Let me see that painting again you said your children made. Perhaps it can tell us something. It's a pity it isn't a one-eyed devil. One-eyed devils are not your brightest, but the three-eyed devils are all-seeing, the cleverest. I have never seen one like this before.
And Curtis Harrington, as I mentioned before, I thought was, he got the most out of the script you could expect. And here he was the guy. You asked me, how did I handle working with a dog and children? He was the guy who really had to make the dog work and get what he wanted from the children. So he was much more involved than I was. I was there, but he was doing the work. We had one problem in the film, and that was the ending, where Krennic confronts this monster who starts out in the shape of a dog. And we couldn't quite get the special effects the way we wanted them. Now, back when we made this movie, we didn't have the ability that we have today in the special effects world. So we kept working it and reworking it, and I think the ending works, and I think you see what happens between evil and Dick Crenna's role. But we had to work hard to get those final 30 seconds, roughly, to work so that we could end the movie. It took creative energy and hard work, and we finally got it to be acceptable.
Dad, about what Bonnie said, about it being over. Well, there were 10 pups in that litter. Where do you suppose the other 9 are?
I always call this project, it's like a cockroach. You can't kill it. People keep calling, and people keep wanting to distribute it more, and different people are always calling about the availability. And it just happened, I got a phone call one day from a terrific guy named Walter Olson, wanting to know if Devil Dog was available, out of the blue, you know. So here we are. doing a DVD release of Devil Dog Hound of Hell, and we're talking about remaking it. And I'll tell you now, with the further development of the technology, we could probably do a really terrific job with a remake or a sequel, because the end of the movie, the Lucky, who was the name of our dog, was part of a litter of 10. And when the monster is all killed and everything at the end of the movie, the young son asks his father, played by Dick Crenna, "Is it all over?" And Dick says, as I recall, "Yes, it's all over." He says, "But there were 10 puppies. Where'd the other 9? So there is a natural opportunity to make 9 sequels or remake this one. So this thing is going to go on forever. I think people like it, they're entertained by it, and the genre is very popular. People love little terror, terror movies, horror movies. And again, I say, what made this work, in my opinion, and confirmed by the writers, is that they took a normal family, husband, wife, daughter, son, and they bring into it evil. And it's how that all changes the interaction between the family members. And I think that's maybe the reason we were able to get such a terrific cast, is because, to use the cliche, the arc of their character, starting out friendly, and then the boy gets out of line, and then his younger sister, and then Yvette Mimio's character. And Dick is kind of the rudder. He's the only one who remains as he started, but he doesn't understand what has happened to his family. And is this evil? Is this dog responsible for all this activity and killings and everything? So I think the script gave us an opportunity to attract a really good director and 2 terrific leads, plus a very strong supporting cast. Some people seem to love this little movie, and as I say, I'm sure we're going to keep making more of them. So I enjoyed working on it, and the picture has performed well. It's always played well, and audiences always have reacted well to it, very positively to the product.
We yearn for you, we lust for you, Father of Darkness. Send your demon, your son, your seed, your beast, and take your rightful place as master of the earth.
Certain movies have their own personality, and there are certain ingredients kind of take over to some degree. And so we were doing this little horror movie for television, and everything was smooth. We had a great director, as I've said before. We had terrific actors. The full cast was wonderful. Even the smaller supporting roles were great. But unlike, for example, stories I've heard of The Exorcist, I was fortunate to meet Billy Friedkin when he was producing documentaries in Chicago. And he came to LA and I met him. And I was very taken by how bright and talented he was, and his energy. He had endless energy. First time I met him, I think we spoke or met for about 3 hours. And then I had the privilege of working and representing William Peter Blatty, who of course wrote The Exorcist. And I hear there were all kinds of delays and things that would happen that were unusual, and it was all kind of that genre of the script also playing out during production. But in our situation, as I recall, everything was very smooth, and everyone was very prepared and professional, and we just had a really good time.
Mr. Barry, is not gonna wake up and talk to you. It's only paint and a stone. The people that painted this have been dead for over 1,000 years.
I've come all this way. There must be somebody who can help me.
Maybe.
I've always enjoyed working on a lot of projects because I just love the creative process of getting a series or getting a mini-series or movies put together. And it's not unusual for me to be working on 50 things at the same time because I have very close friends, producers, directors, and because I've been doing it so long and I've had a good run, people bring me a lot of material. Right now we're developing a 6-hour miniseries for Warner Brothers and Turner based on the life of Sam Giancana, who was a very powerful, powerful mobster who actually made a deal with Joe Kennedy to help get Jack Kennedy elected. It's got major names in there like Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe, the Kennedys, of course. And I'm very excited about the material that we're dealing with now. I'm also about to finish putting together a performance film based on the life of Tupac Shakur. My partner was smart enough when he was producing 2 concerts of his to film them. And because it was very difficult for Tupac to appear in concert because of the fear of riots and everything, that we have the only footage that we're aware of on him in concert performing, interviews and everything. So I'm looking forward to doing that. He was an amazing talent. I saw some footage not long ago with him as an actor. He could have been a major, major actor, I believe. I'm doing a 2-hour movie for CBS based on the life of Colonel Ed Fleming, based on a book of his called Heart of the Storm. Colonel Fleming was in charge of a helicopter rescue team. He was at Perfect Storm, Desert Storm. He is credited with saving over 200 lives. And he's a great heroic character, and this is all true. I've represented for over 20 years a very gifted writer-producer named Dan Gordon. His credits include Murder in the First, Kevin Costner's Wyatt Earp, The Hurricane starring Denzel Washington, Passenger 57 with Wesley Snipes. And I think Dave and I together have, I've set up 31 feature deals for David. So there's a brilliant script, maybe the best script among his many scripts, called Giant, not to be confused with the movie that starred Rock Hudson and Elizabeth Taylor. This is a World War II picture. We're fully financed, and we're now in the process of hiring an actor, and I'm hoping to get that done very soon. There's about 15 other scripts of Dan's that I'm working on. And one was a movie really broke my heart that Michael Douglas financed, because I knew Michael and I knew Kirk. And I knew they wanted to work together. And Dan wrote a script for the first time that would have starred Kirk and Michael. And unfortunately, Kirk had a stroke and wasn't able to work for a while. But it's something that I've loved dearly. It's a true story based on the relationship between Dan Gordon and his brother. But we chose to tell the story as a father-son story. So I'm not sure if we'll do it as a father-son story or as two brothers, but it's a wonderful, wonderful story. And I have a book that I'm also crazy about. It's called A Noteworthy Tale. It's a fully illustrated book. And what they did, they took all the musical notes of the scale and created characters. And they live in a small community called Rhapsody, where everyone sings and dances, because we have all the musical notes. And next to them is a city that's dark like Gotham City, where no one sings or dances. And out of jealousy, they kidnap Ray of Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So. Therefore, there is no more harmony in Rhapsody. So I love this. I love this book. So I'm working hard on that. And I have, I have another list of features that I'm doing. I almost I forgot. Among my closest pals in the world, his name is Tom Sullivan. Tom Sullivan graduated Harvard. He was an Olympian on their rowing and wrestling team. He has had books published, and one was made into a film called If You Could See What I Hear. Tom Sullivan was born blind, but not only is he a writer, performer, inspirational speaker, singer, composer. I don't know how he does it, but he plays golf. And he shoots an 84 from the pro tees at Riviera Country Club here in Los Angeles. Now, I have a lot of friends who can't break 100, who are sighted. So Tom is amazing. We're going to do his life story called Adventures in Darkness, which is his true story, being born blind at the age of 12. It's a great script, and it also, when we get it produced, will, I think, have people look at the handicap in a different way. So, and Tom and I are going to do a thriller involving a blind woman who you think is a victim, but she's not. She's the one who inspires and motivates all of this bad stuff. So she's not a victim in this. So between Tom Sullivan and Dimitri on the Giancana project and Dan Gordon's projects and the Noteworthy Tale book, and I've got a couple of more books I will get Tom Sullivan's book published, Adventures in Darkness. He's written that as a book. I just have a bunch of fun, and I've got a couple. Tom and I are going to do a television series. So then I have a dear friend named Fred Dreyer, who was an outstanding football player for the LA Rams, defensive end, holds a record I don't believe will ever be broken. It's like DiMaggio's baseball record, 2 safeties in 1 game. That record has stood for over 30 years. So we're going to do a television series. He was the star of the television series for 8 years, Hunter. Terrific guy, big talent, does great action stuff, but also very, very funny. So I could give you more, but I think maybe I've given you as much as you can handle. So enjoy the movie, Devil, Dog, Hound of Hell. I think you'll find it fun and entertaining. The performance and the director's work are terrific, and that's about what I can tell you today.